All right, so we're back with more Am I the Asshole? Uh this was posted 14 hours ago. Welcome back, by the way. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for frightening my nephew and making him traumatized for life? Oh boy. I had a cookout at my place on the 4th. My daughter's Switch goes missing. She's 13. I contacted family members, and my wife's sister, Kara, said my daughter gave it as a gift to her son, Stevie, for his upcoming birthday. I'm gonna go ahead and call it early. Children are not really. I wouldn't say children aren't allowed to do that. If it's something they genuinely own, they can give it away. But I don't know if a 13-year-old would give away a Switch like that. Calling it early. I asked my daughter, and she said it wasn't true. She let Stevie use it so they could all play Mario Kart together, and it went missing after the cookout. My daughter is upset, and I call Kara back, who insists that the Switch is now Stevie's and my daughter is too old to play anyways. Oh shit, or we'll outgrow it soon, and it was a gift to Stevie. She calls my daughter an Indian giver. I have so much problem with this statement. We're not even gonna fucking go there. Oh shit, who is Kara? My wife's sister, Kara. Tell I've said it once and I've said it before. I don't endorse domestic violence, but once again, I think siblings are the only people you are legally allowed to put hands on. This is not real legal advice. This is satire. But I think siblings are the only people you're allowed to legally put hands on. If you don't say that's your wife, send your wife to her sister's house to beat the shit out of her. Kara sounds straight up like she's switches like less I checked like 300 something dollars. I don't know. Kara that baby said I didn't give them my damn Switch. Kara, grown ass adult. I know she stole from that baby. Talking about she's too old to use it. Oh, beat her out, oh, bitch. After this, I contacted my uncle, who is a police officer. Yeah, and he watches Kara's house, and a few of his friends go over and threaten to arrest Steve and Kara over stolen property. Real. Kara reluctantly gives it back after an incident with the officer that she could have been arrested for. Uh, they warned Stevie next time. Uh, Hold on, I need to correct this sentence. They warned Stevie that the next time they steal, both him and his mom will go to jail. They let my son-in-law go without incident. Well, Stevie is 6 years old, so Stevie was not even fucking really part of this situation. It was the mother's doing. So I think that getting the police in on this thing, your uncle who's a police officer, I think getting your uncle in on this thing was very good for Kara. But having them like even jokingly like say that to Stevie probably scared the shit out of him because he's like, I didn't steal, I'm just caught in the middle. Like Stevie's caught in the middle. He's 6 years old. That they went too far with that. Uh Son-in-law says Stevie has been crying nonstop and having issues sleeping because he doesn't want to go to jail and blaming me and my family for traumatizing her son. Aww. My response might have been heartless because it was, I guess he'll never steal again. Kara thinks he'll be traumatized for life for making a big deal of her stupid game. But I doubt it was Stevie's idea. I feel like it was Kara's idea. Kara is his mom. He's 6 years old. Like I really think he was caught in the middle. It was her idea to steal it. The second she saw her son at home with a $300 or $400 device that she or console that she knows she didn't fucking buy him, and she was kind of like, okay, we're gonna, I. You're not an asshole for sending the police to Kara's house because that was funny as shit, and I just kind of don't like Kara already. Uh, how you gonna take wouldn't that make her okay, so the daughter is the one who got her Switch taken. And Kara's her aunt. That would make Kara her aunt. How the fuck does your aunt steal from you and then go, you're too old to have that anyways. Bitch, give me my console, but what? Oh my gosh. Get me out of this story. You're the asshole for scaring the child. Or if it wasn't your plan, if it wasn't part of your plan to have them scare Stevie, it was if it was just your plan to go over there and scare Kara, cool. But whoever idea was to scare that little 6-year-old child, that was kind of fucking wrong. Because the child was caught in the middle. I don't think he, not the asshole. Uh, oh, look at this comment. If she's that entitled, he might be too. That's a 6-year-old. Come on, that's a 6-year-old. And if he is entitled, it's because his parents raised him like that. So that's it. I'm still saying that's the innocent child who's caught in the middle. I really don't. I feel like it was not the child's idea to steal the Switch. I feel like the child borrowed the Switch from his cousin, and then the mom, it was Scar's idea. The comment says, not saying most kids would lie or think like that, just how much more damage has this racist woman done to him? Yeah. Thanks for calling her out, Indian giver, racist thief. Yeah, that's why I was like, there's like layers of, that's why I said earlier, there's like layers I could not get into with the term Indian giver. Like there's fucking historical layers. We're not even going to get into that. We're really not. Just, it's even in the name, but we're not going to get into that. Yeah, I forgot. She's not only a thief, she's racist. So fucking hate Kara. Kara's the asshole. Uh, what is this? Let's look at this one. I just felt bad for the baby who's having like nightmares. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend not to do her nightly dinner a joke bit when my parents visit? So OP's 28 male, his girlfriend 20. OP is 28 male, girlfriend 27-year-old female. In the title, if you're just listening to the audio, in the title it says my girlfriend 27 male, but then the first line of the post says that was a typo. That's why I stuttered. So I 28 male have been with my girlfriend 27 female for about 13 months now, so a year about. We just moved into an apartment together. We live on the West Coast, US, and my parents are on the East Coast. They're coming to stay with us for the weekend in about 3 weeks. We are getting the place settled and tidy and prepping for them to come. This will be their first meeting. My girlfriend does this thing every night where she serves dinner. She tells some sort of little pun or knock-knock joke and then says, dinner and a joke. And then we eat. That sounds cute. She does it for every meal she makes. Even the meals I make, she will say, okay, you do your dinner and a joke. I mean, it sounds at worst annoying on bad days. Because it's like you had a tough day, you about to break down, you got tears in your eyes, you're clenching the fork like a damn shovel. You want to eat your food like an enraged ape, stand in the shower like gorillas in the mist, and then get into bed and turn on a documentary. You don't give a fuck that you having a bad day. And she's talking about, you can't have your beef stew until you tell me a joke. I would fucking go ballistic. I'd throw a plate out the wall. I'm joking. No, I wouldn't. Don't destroy the house. I'm just kind of, for the sake of this, stop. I'm not like that. But it sounds at best very cute, endearing and sweet. At worst, fucking annoying on bad days. I guess it's something her late dad did, and she really enjoys it. Oh shit! If it's something her late dad did, you gotta let her do it, man. You should have put that first. Damn it. To be quite frank, I'm a little tired of it, but I know it makes her happy and it's important to her, so I smile and play along, and I never say anything about it getting old. If you're really in love, you got to think of it's like you're like a montage, right? Like, say you're separated and you don't get to see your girlfriend or wife, and you miss them. Guess what? Every single one of those jokes is gonna flash back. It's like a heartwarming memory and tear your heart to shreds. It's always the cute stuff that we think is annoying that will come back to hurt the most later. So you got to cherish it. And I don't mean it in the threatening way, but I really do mean, it's like, I don't know. Oh, like if you have I have a friend who passed away. It's like, oh, they used to do this thing every Tuesday. They used to always eat those damn ham sandwiches every Tuesday for lunch. Damn it, those damn ham sandwiches. You know what I mean? And then something happens to your friend. You get separated, or they, pass like my friend did. And not saying this person ate ham sandwiches. It's just my it's a thing, and then after, when you're remembering them, you're gonna miss those ham sandwiches, like, especially if you really like them. So that's why I said at most it's at best it's endearing and sweet. At worst it's like fucking annoying on bad days. But you're gonna remember this, especially with something her late dad did. You know. I asked her the other night if we could pause dinner and a joke when my parents visit. My mom isn't particularly humorous, and my dad also takes himself extremely serious. Very, very, very serious people. Maybe she will finally get them to laugh. Not that all medical doctors are overly serious, but my parents are. Very critical people in general. I don't think they're going to enjoy it. I think it will annoy them. I mean, it's not a crime to tell a goofy little joke. Like, if they're so stuck up that they can't put up with the joke, I think the bigger red flag is like them, which is gonna tell like a harmless joke, and they're gonna be like, break up, like, break up now. Like, she would not serve us the creme brulee for dinner until she told me a funny little joke and then honked my nose like a little clown nose. Did not enjoy. I think you should break up. Like, I don't think it would happen like that. And if it does, red flag for them. I asked her to stop just for the weekend and we can go back to it. She got extremely upset and said that I was being a total asshole and stayed with her mom for an entire 2 days about the whole thing. Am I the asshole here? No. I don't think you're an asshole. But if that's y'all have only been dating for a year, right? But if you guys like plan on dating seriously, getting married, or just staying partners for a long time, is her innocent joke like, I'm telling you right now, if you love her, I would have hard eyes every time she like did something like funny and cute. I would have big fucking hard eyes because it's unique. I've never heard of it before. It's cute. At worst, it's annoying on like bad dates, but it sounds very cute and endearing. I am worried about. I don't know how OP. I don't know how you told her to, or how you suggested that she hold off on the jokes for a weekend. I don't know how you suggested it, but her getting extremely upset, I am concerned about a little. Like, if you're like, hey, can you not make jokes when my parents come? They're just super serious, you know, and they're not gonna like it very much. And she got so upset that she stormed out and stayed with her mom for 2 days. I would be. I mean, you did say it was something like her and her late dad really enjoyed, and you used the word really. So, like, you've established that you know it's very important to her as a person to just kind of do it. She's probably doing it more for herself than you, but you are very, very, very lucky to be a part of it. You're very incredibly lucky to be a part of it, and you should not take that for granted. Even if you've only been dating a year, you should not take it for granted that she is sharing this with you, right? At the same time, red flag on the parents if they hated that, if they hate jokes that much that they're willing to like, I don't want to fucking eat now. I can't eat this broccoli casserole. Your girlfriend told me a knock knock joke before we ate. Like, what the fuck? But not the asshole. I wouldn't go as far as say you're an asshole. I'd say it's a little cold knowing how important to her it is to tell these jokes and knowing how fucking harmless jokes are, and that your parents should not be so stuck up that they can't take a knock knock joke at dinner. Like, I really don't give a fuck that they are surgeons. I don't give a fuck if they're the president of the fucking United States. Someone can't tell you one knock knock joke before, yeah, you've ruined my appetite. They're so serious that she couldn't tell a joke. I think, OP, if I were you, I would have called my parents and said, hey, you know, you guys are coming over to have dinner. My girlfriend likes telling little jokes, you know, so if she tells like a knock knock joke before dinner, just kind of be chill. Like, I feel like that would have went over better. It's really important to her. It's something her and her late father did. And even if it's not something her and her late father did, it's just something cute and harmless. So you guys are gonna have to fucking suck it up, or don't come have dinner. Well, I wouldn't talk like that. You know what I mean? But they sound kind of like assholes if they can't take a joke. Ooh, top comment. I disagree with the consensus, not the asshole. Wow, so the majority of the comments think OP's an asshole? I wouldn't go that far. I think it's a little kind of yikes. Comment says, I don't think you're the asshole for wanting your parents to like your girlfriend. Well, if they get married, They don't have to. Marriage is not end game. But if they do get married, the parents are going to hear a simple knock knock joke eventually. Uh, I also disagree with everyone saying you're the asshole because you're asking her to change. I mean, it's not like he's asking. It's not like OP's asking for like a permanent change. He's like, for the weekend, can you hold off on this habit, this daily habit? Which I mean, it's not a crazy request. That's why I'm like, he's not really an asshole because it's not a crazy request. But I already said my piece. In fact, I don't even want to read the rest of the comments because I already said my piece. I feel like there's nothing else we need to. It's just kind of a weird story. Oh, what's this one? Can I take a break to like take a sip of water? Like just a sip, just a sip. Haha. I pranked you. It was a sip of milk. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for ruining the birth of their child for a couple? I don't know. Why was the child coming out and you like pushed it back in? How did you ruin it? I, 24 female, was unfortunate enough to witness my brother's birth when I was sick. Jesus Christ. I the beautiful miracle of birth. I hate to fucking see it. I personally do. Front row and all. I was the first person to carry him in the hospital room. To be honest, I don't remember anything except how horrific that memory is. Why did they have you there front and center? They didn't even have you off to the side on the couch or something. My parents have apologized and we have made peace with it. They thought it would be cute for me to see my brother first. It wasn't. They said sorry and we move on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm biased because I hate to see it. I don't even like to see those videos. I don't. Uh the rest of my family hasn't moved on. They still think that it's absolutely bonkers. I don't think it's a magical moment. I don't either. OP, I'm with you. Fast forward to now. I'm visiting my aunts and uncles during one of their reunions, and a couple that's friends with one of them are talking about how excited they are for the birth of their kid. Oof. I say nothing. They keep talking till I heard how they are planning to have their first kid in their delivery room with the mom to have an experience like I have. Oh, so like OP. My aunt goes pale, and before she could deflect, I said, if what you want is to traumatize that kid for life, be my guest. The couple is silent, and my aunt quickly shifted the topic about other birth and baby things, and my uncle asked me to go eat something over there. I understand when I'm being dismissed. So I ate some more food and left for the night. After that, my extended family is blowing up my phone about how I ruined the birth of their kid for the couple and how they are feeling like shit and bad parents. I think I saved another poor kid's eyes, but it also wasn't my place since I don't know them. So am I the asshole? No. And we're about to get into it. Edit because it's getting hard to follow. My extended family manages the hospital ward. I don't know if kids are banned or not, but if they are, I assume they don't do anything about it. My story gets shared with anyone who listens as an example of an excellent sibling bonding opportunity. They are all very much aware of my thoughts on birth and that particular memory. I don't think you're an asshole. You went through you already have to have kind of like a very mature mindset to not understand birth, but to see it. Many husbands, you know how many stories of grown men pass out like watching it happen, and you know how people are like, well, imagine being the woman giving birth, yeah, exactly, that's my point, exactly. How many women like shit at the same time while like pushing the baby out. An astronomical amount of women like shit onto or next to their babies when like delivering. You look it up. It's just like traumatizing, and a lot of women don't even know they like are shitting. I heard this story earlier today about this lady who was bragging about how she didn't like poop while delivering her baby, and then her mother had been in the delivery room, and then so basically the grandmother of the child had been there too, and she goes pale, and then the OP of that story was like, oh my god, like she was like, oh, I'm so lucky I didn't poop when delivering my baby, but she didn't know she had. So it's like, to be like a little kid, like husbands are passing out, like I'm an adult. I can't watch it. Like I can't watch like the blood. The no, I don't even, it's even hard for me to watch like the animals giving birth. It's like, oh look, my cat gave birth. My cat is giving birth. Like, I love kittens. I love cats. I can't do that shit. Wow. Watch this horse give birth. I don't think there's anything shameful or wrong about not like I appreciate the result, like the child, the baby, the kitten, the puppy, the baby human. Do not appreciate the process. And this woman's like, I don't want someone else to get traumatized. But because she didn't say it disturbed her, she said it traumatized her. Her mom shit. Her mom probably shit on the baby too. Like, because most of us know where babies come from, and we know how, cool. I also know how people take a shit. You sit down and you force it out. Does it mean I want an up close and personal view of my mom's hoo ha and asshole while she's, no. No, because you're also forgetting like a mom made her like baby her she was 6. A mom made her a 6-year-old child sit there and watch her like hoo ha and like hold just rip and push out this huge umbilical cord blood covered lump, and she may or may not have shit at the same time. Like, you made your 6-year-old daughter look at your gaping hoo ha and asshole. Think about that. Like, I am with OP, and I'm trying for that's why I'm not even in the comments yet. For anyone who's like really trying to like, well, it's the miracle of birth and hits her sibling. Sit down and think about it. And so OP was telling the aunts and uncles, they're like, oh yeah, we're about to have give birth, and they wanted their oldest child in the delivery room for her to have. OP's like, don't have your baby in there for that shit. At most, I would show like their child, their sibling, after the baby has been cleaned off. Like, okay, come look at the newborn. I do not want a front row seat to my own parents' hoo ha. Spreading open, gaping, shitting, ripping. I don't. What's the top comment? Every comment in here better be not the asshole. And it's not even because I'm biased against childbirth. I've already said it. Top comment by Merciful Otter. Not the asshole. I honestly can't fathom wanting your child to witness their parent in pain. Oh yeah, the mom's like screaming, covered in sweat, grunting, crying, screaming. You're a child. You don't know what's going on. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's trauma. The child doesn't fully understand. What the fuck? Not the asshole. I honestly can't fathom wanting your child to witness their parent in pain just for them to see the quote unquote miracle of birth. That's extremely traumatizing for a child. You are honest with them about the experience. They need to know it isn't all sunshine and daisies for the child experiencing this. Another user says this. When I gave birth to my children, my mom was there, and she said she was glad she had gas because it was so traumatizing to watch. Oh, see, even not even husbands, even OP's like of this comment's own mom was like, holy shit, I do not like watching this. My son's ex asked me to be there for her when she had their baby. Honestly, watching labor as a spectator, I finally got what my mother had been saying. OP is not the asshole from a mother of 2 and a grandma. Yes, watching someone give birth is traumatizing. You are so useless. You're watching someone in pain and are literally useless. Not even useless. I just don't want to see that. I don't. Look at this comment by Spooky Scary Steph. I'm in the US and I was there when my little sister was born. Only it was so traumatic that they had to have me removed. So I sat just outside the door with my grandma, listening to my mom screaming bloody murder as my grandma harped on me for being the reason she didn't get to see my sister being born. Stop taking children to see that shit. As soon as my sister was born, they brought me back in, and I remember being absolutely overwhelmed by the smell. I was 5. I still remember that smell vividly, and my mom wonders why I don't want kids, and I'm terrified of getting pregnant. Oh, shit. Like, there's just so much, like the blood, the screaming, the sweating. Like, am I the asshole? My dog pooped on the sidewalk, and that happened to be in front of a cafe in NYC. Owner was not happy. Well, did you pick it up? If you're walking with your dog, you should have those bags with you. So let's see. Am I the asshole? I just had an experience that I am not sure how to feel about. I was walking my dog on a commercial street filled with small businesses and shops in Queens, New York. I had just come from the vet, and my dog, a beagle mix, had been pretty nervous, so I thought a little walk would be nice. As we are walking, my dog suddenly stops and poops in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, this is not an ideal place for him to go, and he usually tries to find a grassy spot off to the side. But apparently, he needed to go, and this was where he was going. This spot he chose to go on the sidewalk happened to be in front of a cafe about 4 feet in front of it. I didn't think much of it or even notice what business I was in front of. I got out a poop bag to pick it up. I picked up the poop in the dog bag and tied a knot. There was a small amount of residue that I couldn't get out off of the sidewalk. Not sure how to avoid that. Just as we were about to continue walking, someone pops out of the door, who I assume is the owner of the cafe, and says in a rude tone, "This is a business. Don't let your dog poop here," pointing to where the dog had pooped. "He should have pooped over there," points to the curb. I didn't know how to respond, and I think I muttered something like, "This is a sidewalk, and this is where he stopped to go." I mean, it's still outside, and you try to pick it up, so I didn't feel like I should apologize for anything in this situation, so I did not. I mean, I would have said a quick sorry, because it's not like it's your choice. It is not your shit, it's the dog shit. But the owner's crazy because it's like you can't really control that. But I do understand the owner kind of being upset that he's trying to serve delicious pastries like, chocolate filled croissants and like, like hot brown hot liquid, coffee, tea, and your dog just left their own kind of brown hot liquid on the fucking ground, like right in front of them. Like, it's bad for business, but I'm telling you right now, a little shit ain't stopped me. Baby, a little shit ain't stopped me. If I'm going to get me like a chocolate croissant, something buttery and baked with a little chocolate treat in the middle, seeing the little shit on the sidewalk ain't gonna do shit to me, baby. It's just keep it pushing, shit. But yeah, I get it. Just for a better visual, this cafe has no outdoor seating. This is just a public sidewalk in front of their cafe. That is on a pedestrian street in a big city. I'm not sure what I could have done differently. I picked up the poop. The owner of the cafe didn't need to come out and say anything. They don't own the sidewalk in front of their cafe. This is NYC. We all have to share the sidewalk. Who's the asshole? No one's the asshole. The owner's not the asshole. You're not the asshole. Your dog's not, but your dog does have an asshole. And it turned into a soft serve machine. Banging the gavel, no one's the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my son-in-law to maybe stop eating so much? Oh boy. Yikes. Let's go. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my son-in-law to maybe stop eating so much? My son-in-law, 43, female, and her kid 12. What is SIL? I thought SIL is son-in-law. Does she mean daughter-in-law? Her daughter-in-law, who was 43, and the kid who was 12 moved in with us. My husband, myself, and our 3 kids 2 months ago. She's going through a divorce. Oh, let her eat. She's going through a divorce. Damn, that's the time to eat. The kid's not his, and a prenup was signed. Oh, she cheated. We told her to just worry about her own food, as I don't like the idea of eating together due to their history with food. I don't know how to put it nicely, so I guess I will go blunt. Her and her kid never stop eating. They both have severe health issues, as both of them combined are over 600 pounds and live a very fat positive life. Now, it's none of my business, but when it comes to the kid, it's fucked up. I don't care what anyone says. When a 12-year-old is pushing 220 pounds and has a doctor breathing down your neck, it's time for a change versus pushing body positivity. The kid is a great girl, but just her by herself could easily eat enough to feed 4 grown men who haven't eaten all day. So that was my stipulation. They buy their own food and cook everything separate. I even cleaned out our entire pantry to give them for their own food space. Well, my kids and I needed a break and took off for a week to a resort. My husband didn't want to go. He didn't want to leave them in our home unattended. Damn! But encouraged us to get out of here because we were pretty fed up with the company. I had just spent almost $400 on food prior to leaving. Well, if you knew you were gonna leave, okay, we're about to break this down, but I just want to. If you knew, even if they minus the weight, we're not even talking about the weight. Just anyone who has a habit of eating a fucking lot, because there are thin people who eat a fucking lot. You know what I mean? You know, my brothers, for instance. Well, so we're not even talking about their weight. We're not talking about their size. We're just talking about, they eat a fucking lot. Like, not a lot, but you're kind of clarifying that it's a fucking lot. You know what I mean? And again, nothing to do with weight. It's just their habit. And you're going on like a trip, like a week-long trip. Why would you buy $400 of food, even if there weren't like two very hungry people in the house? Why would you buy $400 worth of food right before a trip? Let me stop. OP, because I'm looking at you now, OP. OP, you set this up. I had just spent almost $400 on food prior to leaving, so our freezer was full, and so was our cupboards. This would feed us and me, husband, and kids for easily 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, I got home last night, and all of the food is gone. Every single bit of it. I know for a fact it was my husband. He works 14 to 16-hour days and usually buys takeout on his way home when I'm not there. So he can just eat, so he can just go to sleep when he gets back. I looked at my, I swear you mean daughter-in-law. You keep writing son-in-law. SIL is son-in-law, right? I looked at my daughter-in-law's pantry and all her food is gone too, which was full when I left. I immediately questioned it, and my daughter-in-law apologizes and said her and her kid got hungry and her legs hurt too much to drive to the store. They got DoorDash, they got Instacart. I said, why the fuck didn't you just get grocery delivery? And she said, I didn't think you would mind. So I snapped and said, obviously I fucking mind. You and your kid just ate well over $800 worth of food in a fucking week. $400 of it being mine, which you will be reimbursing me for. Maybe stop eating so damn much. And I walk off. Now she's pissed at me and crying wolf to anyone who would listen for me fat shaming her and her kid. This was really nothing about the weight. You didn't really fat shame Opie because you didn't mention her weight. You're mentioning her habit. Because like I said, even if she had been like one of those thin people who eat just a fuck ton, everything you said in this argument would still stick. So say she was real skinny, right? And she just ate a fuck ton, like mukbangers or something. You could still say you and your kid just ate well over $800 worth of food in a fucking week. $400 would be mine. Because, I mean, but at the same time, you know she eats a lot. You know she eats a lot. You know she eats a lot, and you knew you were going on a trip. Why would you buy $400 worth of food at college? Because here's the thing. It sounds like she has a pretty, I'm not saying it's okay she ate $400 worth of food. I'm not saying it's okay. But I'm saying there's an established kind of thing here, right? What OP is not putting in the story is that has she talked to the SIL's sister-in-law. I don't know why I kept wanting to say daughter-in-law when it says she's 43, because it just clicked for me. Sister-in-law. Your sister-in-law and her kid moved in. Sister-in-law, Jesus Christ, sister-in-law. OP is not putting in the story whether or not she talked to her sister-in-law. She's like, okay, you just gotta eat a lot. You eat a ton. Like, she has not put in here if she has communicated. Because you said that the only stipulation was that they buy their own food and cook everything separate. You clean out the entire pantry to give them own space for their food. Is it what I'm just picking up? Because I don't know the whole story. What I'm picking up is that you kind of danced around the subject. Like, oh, I'm kind of bothered. They keep eating. I'm kind of bothered. They keep eating. It's like, did you speak up? Or did you just kind of dance around the and I just kind of, because it sounds like sister-in-law gonna do what sister-in-law do, which is fuck up a plate. Baby girl, one thing sister-in-law and her kid gonna do is fuck up a plate. But I've said this before, and again, not even mentioning weight. It's usually not about how much a person eats, it's about the quality of food they eat. I'm not even mentioning weight. This has nothing to do with weight. Like it really doesn't. And it sounds like it has nothing to do with weight for OP, which is why I don't think they're an asshole. OP is just kind of like they eat a fucking lot, which people mistakenly automatically link the weight. Is not. It's not. Both my brothers were are very thin, very fit, but they eat a metric fuck ton all the. Well, they did. They just fucking bonkers, right? And it never had anything to do with their weight. It's that damn hunger. Sister-in-law sounds like she gonna do what she does, which is fuck up a plate. Why did you buy $400 worth of food before going on a trip? I just want to peek at the comments. I just want to peek. Uh, uh, yeah, we didn't even get into the fact that if it's a disorder such as binge eating disorder, or if it's caused by trouble, we didn't even get into that. It's not because it's not really. We're just not taking that route today. OP, not the asshole. You didn't really fat shame her. You just kind of volume shamed her for the volume she eats. Because if she was skinny and she had still, here's why OP's not the asshole. Because if sister-in-law was skinny and had still eaten that much, I feel like she would say the same thing. OP, not the asshole. But OP, I am kind of looking at you like, have you really ever said anything, or are you just kind of hint, nudge here and there, but not really, saying shit? I mean, it was crazy. I mean, what sister-in-law did was crazy, but we gonna keep it pushing. Am I the asshole for yelling at my son's teacher and making her cry? I don't know. Are you? I think I'll take a sip of water after this. Am I the asshole? Last Thursday, I, 36 male, got a call from my son's school telling me I needed to come home and collect him because he had passed out during class. Oh shit, my son has passed out a good few times before, so we've made sure he knows what to do when he starts to feel faint to make sure he doesn't hurt himself. However, when I arrived at the school, my son was holding an ice pack to his head. When I asked about it, the nurse told me he had hit his head when he fell. I wondered why he hadn't laid down like we taught him to do. I brushed it off and decided to ask him about it later as he was still kind of out of it. Oh, get that kid to the hospital. The next day I asked him about it, and what he told me made my blood boil. Apparently, when my son had first started to feel like he was going to pass out, he tried to tell his teacher. When he stood up to talk to her, he was immediately yelled at to sit back down. The next time he tried to tell her, she told him that he didn't look sick, so he wasn't allowed to go to the nurse's office. Is this a regular teacher or is this a sub? Because if he's fainted before, she should be used to it. If this is a regular teacher, this is abuse. If this is a sub, the sub's just kind of abusing their power. Then his class was doing an activity that required standing for practicality the rest of the lesson. This teacher is not a drill sergeant. Why the fuck are they doing this? Before the activity started, my son yet again told his teacher that he felt like he was going to pass out and asked if he could sit the activity out. My teacher responded by yelling at him, claiming he was just being lazy and was making excuses. My son's friend was getting worried about him, so he told the teacher, who then started yelling at his friend, accusing them both of trying to get out of a lesson. Not even a minute later, my son passed out, and according to his friend and a couple other classmates, she acted very shocked, as if she hadn't been ignoring him trying to tell her how he felt for the last 5 minutes. I'm extremely worried about the impact this will have on my son. As when the fanning first started, he didn't tell any of his teachers, as he was scared that they were going to yell at him. Aww. This resulted in quite a few injuries from falling. Don't stop. Don't let him hit his head. This could be life or death. You need to get this registered. You need to get this health registered with the school. This is real ass shit. What the fuck? I mean, because I'm not mad at the child, I'm mad at the teacher. Like, if you know if he's got this, I'm not the teacher, I'm pissed at the teacher. But I'm looking at OP as a parent too. Like, have you, even if he's embarrassed, have you registered this with the school? Does he have like a sort of armband or name tag he can wear? Because what if he's feeling faint and he can't speak? Like, he needs something on him, like a bracelet or like a medical alert, something. You know how people with peanut allergies who are severely allergic to peanuts have a bracelet? Like, come on now, OP. Like, I'm pissed. I'm pissed at the teacher, but I'm worried more about the kid. I had wanted to go down to the school that day, but my son had stayed off and my wife wasn't home from work yet. The following Monday, I arranged an appointment with the principal. As I explained what had happened, he called in my son's teacher, who then tried to deny the fact that he ever told her anything, and he had just randomly collapsed. This is where I may be the asshole. Probably not, OV, but let's go. By this point, I was pissed. I'd begun to scream at her, yelling about how my son could have gotten hurt. I was so pissed, I hadn't even noticed that she started to cry. But at that point, I was asked to leave by the principal. Here's the thing, because if your son had hit his head and gotten a concussion or worse, then where would we be? So, you know. My wife and some of my friends think I'm in the right. I agree. But my parents and the other half of my friends think I went too far. I don't. What do you guys think? Am I the asshole? Edit. I'm just going to answer some frequently asked questions that the answers weren't included in the original post. We are not in the U.S. Oh, where are you? So a 504 plan is not in place. However, we do have something similar. My son is in the middle of getting a diagnosis. Doctors say the most likely option is POTS. My son is 13, and I would say he's a fairly well-behaved kid. Only sometimes gets into trouble for stupid shit that 13-year-old boys do. Like what? He usually stops after he gets a verbal warning. We've never had any major issues with his behavior. Yes, the teacher was aware of his episodes. The teacher's a bitch. You got a kid fainting and falling, collapsing, and they're standing up talking about, I think I'm having an episode, and you're like, sit down, you're faking, you just want, you're just lazy, you want to get out of the exercise. But bitch, he's fainted like 36 times before this. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, teacher crying. He's fainted before. Like, if it was the first time he ever fainted, I'd be like, okay, that teacher's kind of an asshole, but maybe she did think he was trying to play a prank. But if he has fainted before, I literally don't. I think Opie's cool as fuck. Banging the gavel. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for throwing away something my sister said wasn't hers? In order to get out of picking up after herself, my 17-year-old, OP's 17, their sister's 15. My sister will claim that the mess isn't hers. Whether it's food, trash, or an item she left out back, she'll say, that's not mine. And 8 out of 10 times, our parents will believe her and make me clean it up. Oh, OP, I'm already with you. Also, that's a bad habit for her to get into. It's just a very terrible habit. The other day, my sister left out not even leaving out the stuff. Sorry, hold on. Her leaving out the stuff isn't a bad habit. Her saying it isn't hers is a bad habit. Because it's like, if 2 people ordered pizza and one of them's like, oh, I didn't eat it, and the second one's like, oh, I didn't even have any, I just ordered it for them, and then the second person who was eating the pizza has like grease on their hands and on their face, sauce on their shirt, and they're like, that's not mine. That's a fucking problem. It's a weird ass problem, because it's like whether it's food, trash, or an item. So it's like she comes back with like a Nestle Crunch bar. Like, no one else in the fucking crib has a Nestle Crunch bar. She has Nestle Crunch bar. She eats that shit. She leaves the wrapper. I don't even consider it problematic that she left the wrapper, because we all leave a little stuff here and there. Life gets crazy. That's not even the problem. The problem is she'll look people dead in the face and go, that's not fucking mine. Dog, that's a legitimate problem. Because if she's dead ass, if she's very serious, help. If she's just saying it to get out of picking up a wrapper, that's just fucking bonkers. The other day, my sister left out her makeup palette, It was on the living room table for 3 days until my mom got mad and yelled for whoever it's for to pick it up. I don't wear makeup because it breaks me out and makes my mom itch, makes my face itch. Sorry, her mom starts itching. I'm sorry. I don't wear makeup because it breaks me out and makes my face itch. Mom knows this, so why does she think it's mine? I have no idea. I say it's my sister's, but she immediately goes, "No, it's not. I don't even wear that brand or color." So my mom then tells me to pick it up and says, I should know better than to leave my stuff laying around. So I'm like, hold on. Maybe the sister is telling the truth. Is your dad, by chance, walking around wearing coral blue number 5? If it's not yours, and it's really not your sister's, does the palette perhaps belong to your father? We must have these answers. I just look between the two of them and then say, okay. I pick up the palette and toss it in the trash. My sister then panics and says, why would I do that? I say, well, it's not yours. It's not mom's. And it's not mine. So I threw it away. No one wants to use mysterious makeup that just appeared in the house. It's like a shitty ass Disney Channel original movie. You know, it's not mine. That's not mine. You throw it out. Why would you throw it out? You know, it's like a Disney Channel original movie type beat. My sister then digs in the trash and pulls it back out. She tells me I messed it up and that it was a gift from a close friend. I replied, oh, I thought it wasn't yours. That's when she makes a face like, oh, crap. Her excuse was she didn't recognize it until now. I said, yeah, right. She just told me to shut up and went to her room. Mom tells me that I was cruel. Your mom does not know what the definition of cruel is. The cruel would have been if you took a knife to the pallet or if you set the pallet on fire, like something where she could not retrieve it. It was just kind of like, you just kind of set it down in the trash bin and she dug it out. Because her sister has a weird ass habit. I reminded her that my sister said it wasn't hers, so I had every right to throw it away. Real. She said since I knew it was hers, I was in the wrong. Well, and with that logic, your mom is also in the wrong for knowing that you don't wear makeup, you're allergic to it, and for going just vaguely. Your mom's, God damn it. She wants me to apologize and offer to buy her a new one. Absolutely fucking not. I don't want to do either of those things. I absolutely wouldn't do it. If she truly cared about it, she would have picked it up instead of saying it wasn't hers. I'm also upset that mom is completely ignoring the fact that my sister lied to get out of doing something. So I feel like apologizing will let her know it's okay to keep pinning stuff on me. Dad is the only one who acknowledged my sister's lying, but also says what I did was wrong. And by the asshole, not at all. Not at all. And I'm so sorry, OP, that your family is fucking weird. Top comment. Easy, not the asshole. Your mom said to clean it up, which means put it where it belongs. It wasn't yours, your mom's, or your sister's. You put it where it belongs, in the trash. If anything, it was a pretty clever way to catch your sister in a lie. Yeah, it's just your mom's like, that was cruel. Did it get super destroyed? But here's the thing, the sister's habit is weird because when the shit is obviously hers, she's like, that's not mine. No, that's not. Like, but you know what the craziest part is? The shit, I can't talk. The craziest part is not that she's lying. Surprisingly, the craziest part is not that she's lying. The craziest part is that she's looking like other people dead in the eye. And going, that's not mine. And it's just like, hello? I'm allergic. It's like, Opie's like, I'm fucking allergic. Mom doesn't wear that. Dad probably does it. You're the only one it can belong to. The craziest part is that she's looking you in the eye, OP, going, I don't know. That's the wild part. I don't give a shit that she's leaving stuff laying around. Because we all do. Hey, it is what it is. Bitch. Bang the gavel. Opie's not the asshole. I'm a little bit stuffy. I'm sorry. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not forgiving my bully even after he apologized? Well, let's see what happened. Let's see what went down. Am I the asshole? Since I was in primary school, I would get bullied by a boy from my class every single day. He would steal my things, humiliate me in public, and call me names. Just emotional and psychological attacks all day long. And no one from my class would help me because I was, quote unquote, the weird girl nobody wanted to befriend. It got to a point where I had enough and decided to tell my parents, who in turn reported him to the principal. Yet, even after being suspended, he didn't stop. It only got worse as time went by. No matter how many times he was suspended, he would stop for a few days and get back at it again. My parents couldn't really afford to move out of the region, so I was stuck with him for pretty much most of my life thus far. He kept tormenting me until we were halfway through high school, when he finally moved and I got rid of him. Well, guess what? A few days ago, he contacted me asking if we could meet up and talk. The only reason I accepted this was because it was in a cafe, so I felt safe enough to go and meet him. When I asked him what he wanted to meet with me for, he said he wanted to apologize. He went on and on about how he was abused at home and ended up taking out his frustration on me, how he went to a therapist and changed. When he asked if I forgave him, I was honest and I told him no. I didn't forgive him and probably never will. I told him that he tormented me for years and that even after I myself went to therapy to deal with it, it still hurts and affects my life till this day. He got all defensive and frustrated at me, telling me that it wasn't his fault he was abused and that he changed and went out of his way to apologize to me, so I should just let it go too. I told him that it wasn't my fault either that he got abused. Real, but he still took his anger out on me. His own trauma doesn't justify what he did to me. He got mad and stormed out of the cafe after calling me bitter. Am I the asshole? My parents told me I wasn't wrong, but I'm having doubts about it now. Am I the asshole? This is one of those complex situations, but if you know how to look at it, it's not super complex. Because I feel like I've been in this situation, this almost exact situation very many times. And it usually goes like this. You can tell people's motives by the way they react. Because you know how people say apologize for you, not the other person in like some situations? Like some situations you apologize for hurting somebody, but then like in you know, the more complex the situation gets, the more complex it is. So like I said, I'm a little stuffy. But sometimes you have to apologize for you know what I mean? And but then when you flip it, he stole a portion of your youth from you, from primary school all the way to like, you know, whenever. He stole a portion of your youth from you. You can't get that time back. And in fact, he's probably stealing a portion of like your adulthood and future from you too, because you still have like psychological damage from that time and emotional damage that you have to like cope with. So he kind of stole some of your past, your present, because it's like you're in the present and he's still, you know, on Reddit typing about what he did. And then probably some of your future from you too, because you're gonna like remember it. So he's kind of, that's not time you can get back and contribute to other things. You know what I mean? So it is kind of like, well, I do understand why you did what you did. That doesn't make it okay. You know, sometimes understanding the why clears everything up, and you're like, oh, okay, the misunderstanding, or oh, you know. But when in situations like this, you have to like see how people act. Because I've been in this situation before where somebody kind of like ruined my childhood, ruined my present, and, you know, just kind of lots of damage. And then they finally eventually told me, well, you know what, I'm sorry I did, you know, all that to you because blah, 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 this happened to me. And I'm like, that's why you did it. I understand. And they're like, so you forgive me? And I'm like, it's kind of tough. Like, cause I want to, and I acknowledge that you're trying to get better now. And I congratulate you on that. But things are not going to be fine and dandy because you kind of took away some things from me. You took away quite a bit from me that I can't get back. And I'm not even talking about physical things like my innocence, my happiness, my joy, and my peace. Like if I've ever had like a sleepless night because of you, you took that away. Like if I ever try to pursue like a relationship and the damage you did kind of ruin that, I count that as you taking that away. Like if I ever my health went down the drain because of anxiety, or my mental health went down the drain because of you, I count that as you taking that away. And then stress can kill you. So stress can shorten your lifespan. So always you shorten my lifespan, I also count that as something you took away. So while it may not have been your intention, like you were so blinded by your own trauma that you didn't realize what you were doing to me, and I am acknowledging that you're trying to change. Now, I don't know if I've had to have that exact talk with people, and the person I was talking to also got defensive and frustrated. And that's sometimes I get weary because that's sometimes I'm like, that's not somebody who wanted to apologize to you. That's somebody who the guilt finally caught up with them. The guilt and the shame finally caught up with them. And they were hoping that they could just kind of vent everything to you, and you accepting the quote unquote apology would magically make everything kind of like disappear and be good and free them from the guilt and shame. Meanwhile, they've taken countless, time and energy from you, just an endless amount. Relationships, mental health. Like they took your health from you. They took a metric shit ton over the course of years or months or weeks, however. And just in one moment, I'm supposed to go, you know what, it's okay. Like one moment, and I've fixed it all. So no, and him getting defensive and frustrated sounded like he really just wanted you to make it all better. You had to deal with all the shame and pain of the emotional and psychological warfare, and he could just vet and go hog wild anytime he saw you and just be a fucking gremlin towards you. And you said no one will help you. Like you already had to deal with a lot of shit alone. There's nobody fucking cared. You had to deal with it alone. And it sounds like he kind of just, his guilt and shame finally caught up to him. And now he's just like, okay, well, this person's gonna make it all better. As soon as they say, you know what? It's almost like these people sometimes want you to be their mother or father because they want you to be like, you know what? I understand why you did that, and it's okay, and my sweet baby, and I'm so grateful that you've come to apologize to me, and you know what? Actually, I'm over it now, and I'm totally healed, and I think you're beautiful, by the way. So let's be friends. And are you okay now? Do you want me to become your therapist, even though I'm not fucking supposed to be? Do you want me to be your therapist now? Also, do you need like a real, true, genuine friend? Like it's like these people, it's like sometimes these people want you to be everything for them. They want you to be the person, they want you to be their punching bag for when they feel like doing psychological and emotional warfare. And then they want you to be like, you can't get revenge. You can't, because that's gonna make you're not the bigger person. Blah, 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 blah. But then you also have to be like the fairy godmother who's like, you've come to apologize. No, they want you to be like the frog prince now. At first you're the punching bag, now you're the frog prince. So they kiss, they're like, I'm sorry. Like they're sorry is like the kiss, right? And now you're like, what you didn't know that I was a magical fairy princess and I'll forgive everything. And I love, and it's just like, dog. That's a very personal story to me. And the way he stormed out of the cafe because you didn't accept his apology, this kind of lets me know that he is not as prepared to apologize as he maybe thought he was. He was prepared for you to answer the way he imagined in his brain. That's what he was prepared for. He was prepared for you to be his puppet again when he wants to fight and be emotional and psychological, like violent. When he wants to be violent, you're supposed to play the role of punchy bag. And when he's ready to apologize, you're supposed to be ready to play the role of, oh, sweet baby pacifist, you know? And it sounds like he got more mad you didn't play the role he envisioned out in his mind. So I don't think you're bitter. I think this is a real ass story. Bang the gavel. Let's not end on this note though. Let's do one more. I mean, it's that was a tough situation though. It was. It really is because it's like hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? And I think none of us make it through this life without hurting someone either intentionally or unintentionally. And anyone who's like, "Oh, I've never hurt anyone," has zero self awareness. We've all hurt somebody, intentional or unintentional. So just like we've all had to be the person to probably hear someone blabbering on about like, "Oh, I'm sorry I hurt you because I was traumatized." I think anybody who's mature and like over the age of like 18 has had at least one experience where they've had to talk to somebody and be like, you know what, I kind of was fucking wilding. You know what, I kind of was. You know what, I was kind of on one. Or you know what, my childhood made me kind of misunderstand and lash out. Da, 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 da. I think anyone who's mature, semi decent at communication, and at least over the age of like 18 has had to be on like both sides of that conversation. Like just like there's all one person we may not have completely forgiven, you know, there's probably people in this life who may not have completely forgiven us. And yeah, it might have been for small shit, but so that's why it's tough. Like, you know, I kind of feel for both of them, but I don't think LP was wrong. I do 100% think it's wrong to bully people, so that's the verdict. Am I the asshole? Last one, you guys. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to just shut up and eat what I make? Over my last year, my husband has been obsessed with his YouTube fitness channel and how he looks. Oh, so OP's 39 and her husband is 32. He's a very handsome chap. At times in our 8-year relationship, there have been times he has been a little on the heavier side, BMI of 27. He's been binge watching so many YouTube videos about diet, fitness, and lifestyle that he now can't even contemplate that he's becoming obsessive. The pipeline from like health to like disordered eating, either eating too much, eating too little, or like counting calories too much, is like a very slippery slope. I would get your husband as therapy, or at least to lighten up on the He now has minimal body fat, but every day tells me he needs to lose more fat. He now critiques every meal I cook because he can no longer eat carbs or cheese or whatever. Oh, he's super keto. We cook all our meals from scratch. Sometimes we go all in and have a mound of pasta or a really cheesy pasta bake. But I think that we eat pretty well. I'm the one who has the sweet tooth, and he has to cut out the indulgent stuff, which I think is great. He's now got to the point where every meal has to be managed. Everything we buy has to be high protein version. He thinks people who eat white bread are asking to get cancer or illnesses. Not if you bake it yourself. I don't know what's in store-bought bread. I've been baking my own stuff for a while. He's also at the gym 4 nights a week. He usually goes once we are asleep. Today I lost it and told him that I will not be micromanaging this household's meal. We have one son. We are a family, and I'm going to cook some homemade food. And if he wants to live in a house where all food is super healthy and anything else is to be feared, he can go live on his own. I admit, my diet isn't amazing, but I also don't think it's the most damaging. I eat takeout once a month, and a few nights a week I'll polish off a bag of sweets or a chocolate bar. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. So am I the asshole for telling him to shut up and eat a home-cooked meal, or go and take his obsession elsewhere and stop obsessing about his body? I don't think it's that simple. Like, it is really easy to get an eating disorder. And I'm talking about binging or abstaining super strictly. And you can't tell who has an eating disorder by the way they look. You can't. Not all the time. Because everyone's always looking for somebody who's like stick thin and with like the bones sticking out, or someone like really on the larger side, like, oh, that person clearly has an eating disorder. Look, that like you want an extreme. You want to see. You think you need to see an extreme to know who has an eating disorder, which is not fucking true. You got a lot of people who look very muscular and very trim, very tan. They look very clean. They look very polished. They're in nice clothes. They have good bodies and can have disordered eating. Because the keyword is disordered. There's something about there's excessive amounts of fear. And again, I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but there's obsessive amount of like fear or anxiety around food. There's a lot of, he might have OCD, like we don't know, because OCD goes beyond just needing to be organized and stuff all the time. Because like he's scared to eat white bread because he's gonna get like cancer and stuff. Like, yeah, we know store a lot of products in the store are not good for you and have a lot of chemicals and preservatives in them and stuff like that. But if he's like afraid that if he eats the white bread he's gonna get like cancer, like it sounds like he's going down a pipeline. And if he's your husband, I feel like you should be more concerned about his mental aspect than oh, he's just got a little obsession going. No, I think he's developing a terrifying sort of, and again, this is, I don't know him, and this is only a few paragraphs. So I'm not trying to armchair diagnose anybody. Also, I can't. I'm not a doctor. But opiums, I don't think you're an asshole, Opie, but I think you're overlooking the fact that this man is in real time developing like an unhealthy relationship with food. Because there's nothing wrong with being like keto. Because if he wants to go carb free, he can go carb free. Like I went carb free for like a year, nearly 2 years actually, and I was vibing. Like I was good. I was getting my healthy fats in and sugars and all that. I was good. He wants to cut out cheese and dairy. Good. I've done that before too, and I was just fine. But when you get into that, there's nothing wrong with being vegetarian. There's nothing wrong with being vegan. It's whenever you go too far, because he's binge watching videos about diet and fitness. Like he's becoming obsessive. I'm honestly surprised OP is not more worried. I don't think OP's the asshole, but I feel like OP's like overlooking something. I feel like OP is overlooking their husband's like mental state. And I feel bad for the husband. So yikes. I hope you guys get it under control. And again, not trying to diagnose him. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to end on this note. I want to end the video, but I don't want to end on this note. Usually we do funny ones. But we might not have any funny ones today because usually I'm in that am I the asshole? Like sometimes I'm in that tag, but sometimes I'm also in the Tifu. Today I fucked up. I don't like saying that because I didn't fuck up today. OP did. So I think if we want some funny stories, you'll have to catch me in another episode of Tifu. So today was kind of like a serious one. Ooh. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.